The room is a void, a heavy, pitch-black silence that feels like it might last forever. Then, a single whisper cuts through the cold air, sharp and unsettling. Have you ever truly thought about it? What if the toothbrush was never invented? What if that simple tool was missing from the timeline of human progress? The screen flickers, a violent pulse of light, revealing a man waking up in a room that feels like a cell. He reaches out, not for plastic, but for a frayed piece of cloth and a rough wooden stick. He scrapes the wood against his teeth, the sound harsh and abrasive. His gums begin to weep, a thin line of crimson appearing before he spits red into a ceramic basin. Days bleed into months, and the struggle continues. We see a woman by a window, her face etched with frustration, as she tries to scrub away plaque with a bit of linen. But the grit remains. It stays. The camera pulls in close, showing the slow, inevitable rot. Pristine white enamel begins to fade, turning a sickly yellow, then a bruised brown. Small, jagged black spots appear on the molars like ink drops on paper. The decay is not just a stain. It is a shadow that spreads, eating away at the very foundation of the smile. The heavy door of a dentist clinic swings open with a rusted groan. A line of people snakes down the hallway, a silent procession of the suffering. Every single person holds their jaw, eyes glazed with a dull, throbbing ache. A man enters the room, the floorboards creaking under his weight. He drops a single, heavy coin on the desk, the sound of metal on wood ringing like a funeral bell. He doesn't speak. He simply points to a swollen, purple cheek. The dentist reaches into a tray, pulling out a tool that looks more suited for a blacksmith than a doctor. It is rusted, cold, and unforgiving. As the man settles into the chair, his knuckles turn white, gripping the wooden arms until they nearly snap. There is no anesthetic here. There is only the grip and the pull. He lets out a primal scream as the tooth is pried loose, a jagged piece of bone torn from his jaw. The pain is absolute, a reminder of a world without prevention. Outside, the social cost becomes a heavy veil over society. In the market, a group stands in a circle, but the air is stifled. A woman begins to speak, her eyes lighting up with a thought, but she stops abruptly. She remembers. She presses her hand firmly over her mouth, turning her face away from her friends as if hiding a crime. She lowers her eyes and steps back into the shadows, choosing silence over exposure. The scene shifts rapidly. A young boy stares into a cracked mirror, his finger trembling as he touches the dark gap where his front tooth should be. A dinner party ends not with laughter, but in a suffocating, total silence. No one dares to open their mouth. No one dares to share a joke. The air is thick with a collective shame that haunts every greeting and every goodbye. The camera zooms in on a single, clean plastic toothbrush lying on a white porcelain sink. Light reflects off the bristles. It sits there, bright and sterile, a silent barrier against the rot. The screen fades to a pure, blinding white. The toothbrush. It changed everything.